This is 5 on your side at noon. Focused on you.
Summer officially begins in just a few hours. Hot and humid in the St. Louis region. Ahead, we're bringing you tips on how to stay hydrated this Thursday. Thanks for being here at noon. I'm Kay Quinn. Look for temperatures to top out in the mid-90s today. The effects of the heat on the body can be cumulative, and we've got several hot days in a row on the way. Meteorologist Tracy Hinson here with the Weather First forecast.
Gosh, it can be a tough one out there, especially the more time you spend in the heat. You've got to drink lots of water. I know that doesn't sound like a very fun tip for you. It truly does make a difference, and it's probably our doctor's #1 piece of advice. 90 degrees, it feels like 91. Winds are at about 3 miles per hour. Now, our heat index today is not particularly impressive. The past few days, we've had about a 2 to 3 degree heat index, which does make a difference. It means our high of roughly 94 degrees will feel more like 96 during the peak heat of the day. When it is humid outside, sweating typically should give us some evaporative cooling. It doesn't really work that well when it's humid outside because that extra moisture has nowhere to go. For tonight, it's going to be quite warm. We drop down to only 79 degrees. And mind you, that 79 we're going to hit right at around sunrise. So we will spend most of the night in the low 90s to upper 80s. Our sunset today is the longest day of the year, the summer equinox. Our sunset is at 8:30.
All right, thank you, Tracy. That's right, June 20th is the first official day of summer. It could also be one of the hottest days of 2024 so far. All week long, we've been warning you about the dangers of heat. It's the #1 cause of weather-related deaths. So this afternoon, we want to keep you safe. Our Diamond Palmer brings us ways you can stay cool and hydrated and beat the heat this summer.
During this heat, you'll need the 2 C's, cool air and cool water. The city of St. Louis has nearly 20 cooling centers, providing some relief. They will open when temperatures are over 90 degrees for 2 days or more. On this map, you can see cooling centers are spread out across the city. If you live in the north side, there are multiple, including the Walnut Park branch for the St. Louis Library on West Florissant. If you live on the south side, there's a cooling center at the Bevo Center on Ridgewood. And if you live close to downtown, there are many to choose from, including the Christ Church Cathedral on Locust and several library branch locations. Now, if you're going to be outside, here's how much water you need to drink. If you're in the heat for an hour, you need to be drinking 1 to 2 bottles of water. At 4 hours outside, you'll need to be drinking 4 to 8 bottles of water. And if you plan on spending 8 hours outside, you need to be drinking 8 to 16 bottles of water. The founder of Cool Down St. Louis says since the program has begun, they've given out 25,000 air conditioners to people. They add the need is greater than ever this year before.
We have been in homes where it's knocked us out. That heat just bellows out. That's dangerous. How can you live like that? We want to save those lives of those people so that they can have a chance. And all you have to do is find out about heat exhaustion and heat-related illnesses. The next step is death.
Cool Down St. Louis says seniors and people with disabilities qualify for free air conditioners. If you need additional help, meaning if you've ever gotten your electricity shut off due to non-payment, they can also help out during this extreme heat. All you have to do is head to our website, kstk.com, under the Today in St. Louis tab. Reporting in downtown St. Louis, Diamond Palmer, 5 on your side.
Right now, St. Louis police are looking into a late-night homicide in North St. Louis. The deadly shooting happened around 10 p.m. in Fairground Park. Officers found a man shot and killed, marking at least the 80th homicide in the city so far this year. About an hour later, officers were on the scene of this serious crash at Washington and Tucker in downtown St. Louis. Our Brent Solomon was one of the first on the scene capturing the video. According to witnesses, a vehicle ran a red light and hit multiple cars. Right now, we're working to learn if anyone was hurt. Right now, a mom is suing a daycare center in North St. Louis County for abuse and neglect. She says her 4- and 3-year-old children suffered physical, emotional, and mental injuries. 5 on your side's Justina Coronel sat down with the family's attorney who told her about the abuse authorities uncovered.
She's very strong. She was able to start to spearhead this, to initiate this, and keep it going.
Attorney Chris Finney represents Diana Harold Page. The mom of two is filing a lawsuit against a Brighter Future Child Care and Development Center in North St. Louis County.
So the allegations are contained in our petition, and it has to do with neglect and abuse.
In March, Harold Page says her worst nightmare became her reality. She picked up her kids from the daycare and noticed her 4-year-old son, who has autism and is nonverbal, had facial scratches and a bump on his forehead. She demanded to see surveillance footage and notified authorities.
An investigator went in, reviewed video footage, and saw that these allegations were occurring. It's actually using certain implements like a paint stirrer to hit the children, to have some kind of enforcement mechanism. He slammed down on his cot, dragged across the room, things of that nature.
The lawsuit alleges her 2 kids suffered injuries because of the facility's failures.
Staffing ratios are a problem, and based on the report that we have, this was an issue at this facility.
Finney admits these abuse cases have grown since the pandemic.
In the last probably 2 or 3 years, we've definitely seen an uptick in the cases, and most of them are neglect cases.
Amy Robbins with the Children's Advocacy Services of Greater St. Louis gives tips to parents amid a child care crisis. She recommends asking questions and following your gut.
We would hope that most daycare facilities or providers would be giving an update or a report. They should be documenting any incidents that occurred, even if it was by accidental means. Those things should be reported in that center setting, and parents and caregivers should be given that update at least daily. And if it doesn't make sense, ask questions about it.
Justina Cornell, 5 on your side.
Our newsroom reached out to the daycare center and their attorney, but we haven't heard back. The lawyer for the family says the case could continue for another 1.5 years. Happening today, more controversial topics set to be discussed at a Francis Howell School Board meeting that happens this evening. One involves a gender identity policy, and it's bringing potential pushback from parents. The proposal would not allow teachers or staff to push gender identity with students. It means they can't use a different gender to reference a student unless a parent approves it. Tonight is just the first reading. The board is expected to vote on it in July. This isn't the only controversial proposal the school board has been part of this year. Earlier this year, it restructured Black study courses. Parents protested after the school tried to remove those classes. According to district representatives, all families in the school district will be notified about what students will read when the curriculum begins this upcoming semester. Charges have been filed against a man police say shot a pharmacy technician yesterday. 41-year-old Justin Wansowitz is charged with 2 counts of first-degree assault, 1 count of first-degree robbery, and 2 counts of armed criminal action. Investigators say he walked into a pharmacy in Rolla, went behind the counter, demanded drugs, then pulled an AR rifle and fired multiple shots. Police were able to arrest Wansowitz thanks to another worker who followed him and alerted police. The pharmacy worker who was shot is in the hospital being treated for non-life-threatening injuries. Right now, the clock is ticking for St. Louis. The city has 8 days to respond to a new lawsuit claiming its guaranteed basic income program violates the city charter and state constitution. St. Louis launched the Guaranteed Basic Income pilot program last year. Our political editor Mark Maxwell is here with new details about the lawsuit challenging it.
The Constitution of Missouri and the City of St. Louis's charter documents and ordinances prevent just giving money to somebody for no reason.
Attorney Beavis Schock worked alongside the Holy Joe Society to challenge St. Louis's Guaranteed Basic Income program. Mayor Tashara Jones' office doesn't comment on pending litigation, but last fall, she promoted the idea as a way to help people living in or near poverty get by.
Families that receive guaranteed basic income are able to care for their children in better ways.
More than 5,000 families initially applied. 540 families would win that $500 monthly benefit. To qualify, they had to make less than 170% of the federal poverty line and have children enrolled in city public or charter schools.
That violates the First Amendment freedom of religion. In other words, you can't say because you're religious you can't have a government money.
Schock says they won't need to make that argument in court, just highlight the prohibition on giving public funds to private citizens who didn't earn it.
These are federal funds that came with federal rules, and the federal rules do allow this.
So that's a great question. So if the city is doing it and it's against the city's own charter and against the Constitution of the state, can it still be done? I don't think it can.
I think the program is awesome.
That's Ann Smith, a single mother of 3, who told 5 on Your Side last fall she was hoping to qualify.
I would love to apply for it because I'm new to the area and I need all the support that I can get.
You're an individual. You have responsibility for yourself and your children. The government's not responsible for any individual and their children. Each person is responsible for him or herself.
Reporting in
That was Mark Maxwell reporting. Schock said he's not pushing for a refund of any funds that have already been paid out over these last 6 or 7 months. He is asking a judge to stop sending those payments. The city has until next Friday to respond in court. A troubling situation for Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s campaign. Ahead, we'll break down why he won't be making an appearance at the presidential debate. Juneteenth was celebrated across the region yesterday. Ahead, our Brent Solomon dives into the deeper meaning behind the festivities.